I saw this one, God, back on the conspiracy theory train, like I saw someone like put up this video. It was like Bill Gates like talking at a conference, and it was like clearly he was just like making a jestful joke. Like the audience was laughing, like you could tell he wasn't being serious, and he was talking about like how to eliminate the entire population of the earth, like a step by step on like how to eliminate the population. And they had edited the crap out of it, because like in the middle of the crowd laughing, it would chop, and then he would like say a line or two and they would chop it again. And like the top, it was like, Bill Gates says that vaccines are used for population control. Stay woke. And it's like, you edited this for him to say that. Like, I actually just watched the whole video and I could tell it was a joke in jest for fun to prove a point about something else that we didn't see, that we don't even know, but you've just chopped this up to make it sound. And like, bruh, it was just so funny to me, because I'm like, the sad part is a lot of people see this and be like, yeah, man, don't do vaccines. It's for population control.
The other thing that's, that's a whole conversation about like fake news and shit like that. But I have some serious like worries about like journalism and stuff, because journalism is being only steered towards what gets clicks and views, because that's what pays the bills, and not really being steered towards like what the actual truth is. I mean, we've even had articles written about us that are wrong, not in a way that,
malicious or anything,
was malicious, but there was just straight up easy to disprove facts that they said about you that weren't like malicious or attacking, but they were just wrong. There was one article that said you got hurt in Savannah, Georgia. It's like, no, I was going to Savannah College of Art and Design at the time
in Atlanta,
at the Atlanta campus. Like, I wasn't in Savannah. It's like, that was a small conclusion to jump to, but whoever was writing that didn't live in Georgia. They didn't know there was two campuses, so they just go, oh, he's going to SCAD? He was in Savannah. And it's like,
even though in the story I've said a million times, I always say Atlanta.
You're running through Atlanta. Exactly.
Atlanta,
and they're like, Savannah, Atlanta, same thing. They're in Georgia. He's probably in Savannah, but just says Atlanta because no one knows who Savannah is. They make assumptions, and that's the problem, is people just aren't thoughtful enough. People are just going around, along their day. They're not, I don't think that, I have like a very strong belief that like most humans are like trying to just do the best they can. Like, no one's out here trying to maliciously hurt you. People that believe in fucking horoscopes and astrology, and they're like, oh, you're not compatible with me, you're not a Gemini. They're trying to watch out for number one. They're not trying to be like hating on you, like, oh, you're a Gemini, fuck you.
Yeah,
they're literally trying to like protect themselves. They're like, last time I got in a relationship with a guy that wasn't compatible with me, he broke my heart, so I'm going to protect myself. You know what I mean? Like,
most people aren't against you, they're just for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. But they're also a lot of times, I think, not even thoughtful enough to think about anything else but themselves, which is a problem. Like, I just think most people, they don't listen. And I'm talking to myself here. Like, there's things that I can get better at. I'm not a fucking perfect person, but I think a lot of times people just are not thoughtful and considerate and conscious. And I think that's like a big thing that a lot of people are pushing towards, is like conscious living and stuff like that. Like, even with, what we're eating, like I don't think that eating animals is bad, but I definitely don't agree with like factory farms. Like, I don't believe in like how they're doing that shit, but also I don't really like see, I don't think the benefits outweigh the costs right now of me like eating meat, or, just like things like that, or even just, people not thinking about the fact of like, oh, I'm going to go like flush these drugs down the toilet or whatever. It's like, you do realize that like our water supplies are getting like degenerated because people are flushing drugs down the toilet. And also
now
like,
we're all on antidepressants, whether we know it or not.
Or like, fucking like girls at music festivals putting like tons of glitter all over. Then what do you do with that glitter? Oh, I'm going to go wash it off in the shower. Where does that go? They're finding fish with like tons of glitter in their fucking stomachs and stuff. It's like, because it doesn't break down. You're literally creating all these microplastics that are just fucking pointless. Mm-hmm. And people just don't think. They just don't fucking think. And that's why I think I gravitate towards like, the kind of like hippie side of things sometimes, because those are the types of people that do think. I do think, though, that a lot of them go off the deep end and start believing in the fucking hippy dippy woo woo type stuff. But there's a fine line to balance on, where there's, I think, you know, a level where we can all come together and be more like conscious as like a planet and just be like, okay, is this good for me now, or is this good for the like entire planet?
Yeah, it's how to be like conscious and mindful. And, you know, like, I mean, a big part of my minimalism journey was that, you know, I think about like all the things I consumed, all the packaging that I had, all of like the fast, dude, I feel guilty about having to use like something plastic, but there's every time I pee, but there's not really like, I don't have an alternative. That's like, that's like an unfortunate thing. And whenever I have the option,
you're the excuse. Like, you are the excuse. Like,
but everywhere else, I try to consume as little as possible.
Yeah, like single-use plastics. Like, if I can reduce my consumption, you know, in whatever grand scheme of things, maybe I'm offsetting yours. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't help that. And I think that that's fine. I think as like a carbon footprint or whatever you want to call it, like your use of single-use plastics as in the form of like catheters and things like that, I think the general population would find acceptable because they're like, oh, he doesn't have another way. Like, I'm fortunate that I can just pee normally. But I don't have a disability.
But even when I find, like, so for example, I only use a lot of other single-use stuff when I'm out and about and I have to carry it in my bag. Like when I'm here, I've got like a big bag of wipes instead of individual wipes. I've got like a big tube of lube instead of individual lubes. I got a massive thing of hand sanitizer instead of a bunch of little ones. You know, like I try to, whenever I have the opportunity, you know, to consume less and to have less and to be more mindful of, you know, everything. And yeah, sure, I'm sure there's other areas where I can improve. I think everyone could improve. Like, you know, I did the whole vegan thing for a while, and the reason I had to stop is because I found out I was like allergic to wheat. And like okay, like what can I do? Like, how can I possibly survive on like just vegetables and fruits? Like, I don't think that's something I want to attempt to do. And you know, like,
also the circle of life, it's like people talk about how like killing animals is like murder and stuff, but it's like the circle of life is that animals kill other animals, and arguably we're at the top of the food chain. Like, it makes sense that we would eat animals. Like, it's not that we're doing it to be sadistic and fucking like, oh, like just like I was talking about with last week with the Australia fires. It's not like the people that are doing these preventative burns hate trees. They're doing it to prevent something else. It's not like I want to, you know, eat chickens because I fucking hate chickens and I want to like ritualistically like I want to eat the eggs. Not only do I want to eat the chicken, I want to eat their fucking fetuses. I want to eat their eggs because I fucking hate those chickens and I want to eat them and just consume them and shit them out like the fucking putrid scum of the earth they are. No, I just fucking like eating chicken. Like, I don't hate chickens. I love chickens. Chickens are cool. I've fucking taken care of my neighbor's chickens. Like, they're awesome, you know? And like, I think people just get this idea in their brain that they love animals so much and they have like such a anthropomorphized like vision of like what an animal is, again, to go back to veganism and stuff like that. But I do agree, like there's got to be a better way, and we probably do as a society. We do probably eat a lot more meat than we should or could, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and I also think about like, let's kind of roll back to one of my pre-agricultural days when I was talking about hunter-gatherer. It's like, the human body evolved on meat, like more than likely, like you had fish, you had, you know, beef, pork, chicken, like or red meat, white meat, like whatever you could score is what you ate, you know. And then we figured out the agriculture and like, oh, we can grow plants, and oh, we understand the seasons, and like, you know, like there's been different revolutions, you know, man, understanding fire, agricultural revolution, industrial revolution, you know, internet revolution. Like there's all these revolutions that we go through, and you know, internet is the beautiful one because it's the information, you know, you know, now that we've got access to infinite information, but then kind of going back to what you're saying about journalism is like a lot of that information can be wrong, and to be able to understand the difference between opinion and fact, and also being able to,
I think we'll
understand critical thinking skills to know like what is fake and what's not and how to do research. And
I think we'll probably come up with some sort of equivalent to the peer-reviewed journal. Like, you know how there's like, you know, in science, we've got these peer-reviewed journal things. I think there'll probably at some point be an equivalent of like a fact-checking kind of thing.
Facebook's trying to do that.
They're trying to do it. I think it's a noble cause. I don't know if Facebook's the right person to do it, but one thing I kind of want to go back for a second because it kind of ties into what we're just talking about with like being conscious and stuff like that is like the government places like certain things on us, right, that we like have to do, right? Like there's just certain things like
driver's license, taxes.
And vaccines is one of those things that like you like legally like have to do and things like that. Like I don't know if it's breaking the law
to attend like public school.
Yeah. But here's the interesting kind of thing, and this is where I kind of want to like talking about playing the devil's advocate here, because if you think about it, you're like the government gives like subsidies to all these meat companies, like, oh, the government actually is in cahoots with all these things and blah 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 blah.
Corn, milk, cow, chicken.
Here's where the thing goes. It's like when you're born, dude, the government just makes you fucking put a needle in you and squirt some stuff in. You don't know what that shit is. Dude, the government's in cahoots with the fucking vaccine companies, because the vaccine companies are actually run by Monsanto, and Monsanto, like, you know, like there's like a whole rabbit hole, and it's like, dude, I'm just a human, man.
I also get a serial number. It's called my social security number.
Yeah, dude. And like, dude, the government, bro, Big Brother is watching, bro. We're in surveillance state. Dude, these phones, man, they're watching us all times. They got cameras all over. Dude, they're putting more and more cameras. They're putting more sensors in these phones, man. They're tracking us, bro. And even, dude, bro, you know what's a total mindfuck? When you're born, the doctor makes you. They put a vaccine in you, bro. Who knows? Dude, that might be the thing that's holding back society, you know, because no one actually knows what's in that vaccine needle. You just have to trust the doctors, bro. And if you don't trust the doctors and you don't vaccinate your kid, who knows? Your kid might be Albert Einstein.
I wish that was on mic.
AJ went, what the hell? No, but it's true, man. Like, because you think about...
That's called a slippery slope. What you just went down, and that's actually another logical fallacy.
It's another logical fallacy, but it's the same way that people go down the path of religion and all these other things. It's like the same fucking thinking, and it's like, who are you to tell me what you need to inject into my body, because blah blah blah. And it's like, well, actually,
reduction of all-cause mortality, reduction of infant mortality, and reduction of and improvement of herd immunity.
And the thing is again, like, it's like, I'm not a climate change denier, I'm not a vaccine denier, but there are some weird shit that has happened after people get vaccines. Like, there is a thing that can happen. Like, there's gotta be. There's no way that a small percentage of the population doesn't have an adverse reaction to something being injected into you. That's just a fact.
Well, of course.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why parents are like, well, if
we drive cars, but they're the most deadly thing out there.
I agree. And that's why there's certain people that don't fucking drive in cars. And there are certain parents that are like, they don't want to take, they're like, you know what? There's that herd immunity. If the majority of people are still immunized, whatever the fucking terminology is, and my kid isn't, we're going to be fine, because my kid's not going to randomly get fucking cholera or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
But there are some children that are literally incapable of taking vaccines due to illness or sickness or cancers, and then those kids are at higher risk.
Agreed.
At a higher risk.
Again, I'm not a vaccine denier. I think everyone should get vaccinated. At one point, I kind of was in that, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that's why I'm kind of explaining this like thought process, because I think a lot of people are probably kind of in that, like, I don't want to be, it's funny because the whole meme of it about like kids, unvaccinated kids like dying and stuff, it literally became such a thing in the zeitgeist. Like, people understood it, that kids are like going to their moms and being like, hey mom, am I vaccinated? And their mom's like, no, silly, I didn't want to vaccinate you. And they're like, dude, I'm gonna fucking die. And they go to the doctor and get vaccinated when they turn like 16 or whatever.
18.
Yeah.
18. Yeah. I saw
like
some mom put up a post on Facebook. It was like, I found out my kid is gonna get vaccinated when he turns 18 next month. Is there anything I can do? Or is there anything I can do? And someone wrote, except the fact that you raised a child smarter than you. Yeah. And I was like, goddamn.
It was because he was unvaccinated, bro. He didn't have those limitations on his brain. He's smart as shit. He's Albert Einstein, dude.
Yeah, they fucking inject computer chips into your brain too.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode that clip was from, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right here.